And he gets haste from our Registrar Alpha, which is, this is the dream, guys. We're living it. Alright, how is it going, guys? I'm just going to show off our deck real quick. I just called this deck Gruul Dinos. It's just an adapted deck that I saw on Arena deck list. So starting off, we have our 1-drops. So Land of War Elves just ramps us into our Steel Leaf Champion, our Gruul Spellbreaker, and our Jade Light Ranger on 3. And it allows us to hit our higher drops. Pelt Collector is just a great on-curve creature. Playing that on turn 1, it just really allows us to steamroll the early game. Crawl Harpooner is really good on 2 because it allows us to kill a lot of early drops such as the Pteromancer in mono blue. Merfolk Branch Walk, it just allows us to hit our land drops. That's very similar to Jade Light Ranger. It just lets us get through those land chunks that we otherwise wouldn't. I find the Gruul deck without these 2 creatures does tend to flood out a lot. It is a lot stronger, but we are trying out this mono kind of build that I saw online. That's where Steel Leaf Champion comes in. Land of War Elf makes it a lot easier to cast with a triple green. Our sources of mana, we are only playing 1 source that's only red, so we should be able to cast them on turn 2 or 3 most of the time. Gruul Spellbreaker is just a really good beater. Collision Colossus is a really good card. I'm only running 2 because I find the flying attribute of the card isn't super useful, but the Colossus usually allows you to smash through people's lines, but it's only useful, you know, when you're kind of sitting on like 4 mana or so, and you have some creatures on the board, so it's not always the most useful card. Nullhide Ferox is a card I saw people using, which is, again, from the mono-green builds. And this is just a beater against control. He's hexproof, he's a 6/6. He's just tough to hit. You know, people trying to cast Vraska's Contempt or whatever, it's really tough to get that 6 mana. He really beats down on the Sultai decks and the Esper. Registrar Alpha is just a card I'm trying as a 1-of. I'm not sure if it's good yet. We're just trying it out. It gives our other dinos haste, which is cute with Galta. But he's also kind of wide on the board. It might just be better as a Siege Gang commander or something, but without the goblins in the 2 slots, the what's he called? Yeah, the Zertog goblin in the 2 slot, it's probably not worth using goblins, and a lot of other decks are playing Goblin Chain Whirler, which we're a more green based deck. And then we have Galta at the top of our curve. Galta, with all of our high power creatures, like our just gonna turn this on. With all our high power creatures, like our Nullhide Ferox, our Steel Leaf Champion, that are just efficient and high power, we can easily cast our Galta, and he just allows you to really beat down. A lot of decks like the mono white deck and the mono red deck just can't deal with him. And then I'll quickly go over to the sideboard. So for our sideboard, we're running 3 Lava Coil and 3 Lightning Strike. These are kind of just to kill those early creatures. We have Cinder Vines, which tends to punish the Esper deck and also allows you to deal with those pesky enchantments. Thrashing Broncodon is pretty good against the mono red deck, and it does allow us to have like a 4 power creature. I kind of like it against some of the smaller creature decks. It's good against mono white as well. Vivian is good against the control deck. She also allows us to kill flyers and enchantments. The 2-for-1 with the dig is really good. It just allows us to, a lot of our bigger creatures, if we play them against the control decks, they just get traded 1-for-1 with removal. Whereas Vivian allows us to play her, get another creature, and then hopefully, even if she gets hit by a removal, we at least have that creature that we grabbed off Vivian. And then Ravager Worm is a card I'm trying out as well. So Ravager Worm is Riot, and then he fights a creature you don't control. So this is a card I'm trying to beat the Gruul decks with. This card just, it's so big when you riot it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. There's not really a lot of cards in the Gruul deck that can deal with it, just that it's sick stuffness. So I've had issues when playing against this card in Gruul. It is 6 to cast, so I'm not really sure if it's going to work out. We might change that out later, but we're going to play some games and see how it goes. Alright, so this is not a good hand to start off with. We're just going to mulligan that away. This is a little bit better. We do have the Pelt Collector to start off with, and hopefully we'll draw a 2-drop. We would have liked to keep that land, but unfortunately we can't. We really do need a 2-drop here, and like I said, we're probably going to draw more land, or I was going to say rather. So it looks like he's on some sort of gate deck here. We'll have to see what he plays. And he's just on a slow gate build. Unfortunately, we didn't get that 2-drop, but we do have a 3rd land to play our J lane range. Yeah, he's just very slow. He's playing lots of tap lands. The J lane ranger here is really good. It allows us to filter through since we have been hitting a lot of lands. If we hit something relevant here, hopefully we can get a more powerful J lane ranger. The nice part is it'll trigger our Pelt Collector here if he doesn't have anything to deal with it. So we don't want that at this point. That's pretty good. I do just have a random royalty-free jazz music playing in the background. Let me know what you guys think of it. I don't really know, like, I don't want to just have talking, but I also don't really know what to put in the background, so. I know myself watching Magic streams, I kind of like the jazz music, so it is what it is. Alright, so our opponent just played a Plaza of Harmony, gained 3 life. Nothing too relevant here. It did eliminate that early pressure we had, but it wasn't too much anyway. We'll see what he casts here. Probably a Guild Summit, yep. To draw 2 cards. He's probably looking to board wipe us. I actually don't know if we want to commit anything more to the board. If we could Branch Walker and stack the trigger. No, we can't. Alright. I haven't played Magic for a while. I used to be a level 1 judge actually, but as you can tell, I'm not up to date on my rules. Yeah, there's the Gates Ablaze, as we thought. That Steel Leaf on the top is really strong. Maybe we'll be able to play a Nullhide Ferox here. If we can slam Ghalta, we might have a chance here. I don't know if this is a very good matchup for us though, but Krasis is fine. So we can play this for free, and then play Ghalta. Now hopefully he won't have something to deal with the Ghalta, and we can just smack him with it. If he doesn't have another board wipe, we might be fine. But if he has like 2 Gates Ablaze or something, we're probably done for. Well, that's good. He does draw 2 here, but that means he won't have the double Gates Ablaze. At this point, I don't know if he can win. But we'll have to see. I think he can draw another card because I don't know if he's played a land. That's a Growth Spiral. And there's his gate. I think we should have this one. Yep, there's game 1 for us. So against this deck here, we want the Thrashing Broncodons, we want the Cinder Vines, which will be really strong. We want the Vivians, if it'll allow us, because they're useful, but not the best. And then maybe 1 Collision Colossus. I have a general knowledge of most MTGA decks. I played the last 2 seasons extensively, but this season I kind of slacked off and I haven't really been playing. I did reach Mythic the first 2 pre-seasons, and it's funny that I slacked off on the one that matters, but this is a really good hand. We have the Pelt Collector on turn 1, the Merfolk Branchwalker on turn 2, and on turn 3 hopefully we can go Pelt Collector, Crawl Harpooner, or even Colossus and our Pelt Collector. There's a lot of early pressure in this hand, which should be really strong. We're going to pay 2 life here and play our Pelt Collector. The Nullhide Ferox is really strong here if we can draw a 3rd land. The Merfolk Branchwalker will hopefully allow us to get one of those. I mean, we'll need a third and a fourth, but there's a Jade Light Ranger which will help us out. So that'll power up our Pelt Collector, and we'll explore. We do not want that, unfortunately. And we will get in there for 2. Yeah, mtga content is what I really wanted to create. I've been playing a lot, and I really do love the game. I almost have a full collection, so if there's any decks or anything you guys want to see, feel free to let me know, and I can definitely run through some games with it. Awesome, we ended up getting that third land. Hopefully we can get another land off this Jade Light Ranger, and then fourth land? Huh, Galta, you say. I would love to draw this Galta, but I don't think we're keeping our board very long. Let's get in there for 5 and take him down to 13. Alright, our opponent just conceded. He didn't want to face off against the Gruul beasts. So that's game 1 for us, and it was a pretty quick game 1 and 2. Alright, so looking at this hand real quick, it looks pretty good. We have a Llanowar Elves, which allows us to play our Gruul Spellbreaker on turn 2. We also have 2 Pelt Collectors and a Nullhide Ferox. Let me think about this for a sec. I think playing the land... Oh, okay, our opponent's on the play. So let's see what he plays, and then we'll decide. And see if we play our Llanowar Elves first. If he's on like a control build... So here I'd like to play our Elves. Just because if he does take out the Elves, I'm hoping he won't have any more early removal, and then that allows our Pelt Collectors to get bigger. He's going to take something from our hand, but I think he can only take a non-creature hand, or card. And actually, this is a great draw. So we can actually play a Pelt Collector here, and then play our Crawl Harpooner, which since this is a 2-1, we'll be able to fight him and it'll live still, and then also trigger our Pelt Collector there, which is a huge play for us. Sorry, I was going to say, this can only take a non-creature spell, so we don't really have to worry about that. Looks like he's playing some sort of like mono black variant, maybe? With some sort of red. So here, I actually want to play the Gruul Spellbreaker, because that allows us to get in with both our Pelt Collector and our Crawl Harpooner, and if we give this guy haste, we can bash in for 9. And if he blocks, we don't really care what he would block with. This gives us a really early aggressive start. And puts him down to 14 while taking care of his Dread. Yeah. So that's a Midnight Reaper. It's a fairly good blocker for him, but it doesn't really matter. I'd actually like to play our Pelt Collector here and a Merfolk Branchwalker. I really want to get that 4th land to get our Nullhide Ferox online. And this will trigger that 1/1 Pelt Collector. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a land, but that's okay. So we're going to swing in here. He might draw a card, but he does take a damage from blocking that Pelt Collector. And he'll take 3 damage. And then this will trigger our Pelt Collector since our larger one died. I mean, if he goes Ritual Soot here, that would be quite decimating for us. I can't imagine what else he would have, though. Awesome, so he didn't have anything there. I'm actually just going to play Steel Leaf Champion, because that lets us threaten lethal if he doesn't have a removal spell. We're going to see what he has. Okay, that's fine, just a cast down. He still takes 7 and goes down to 3. I don't believe he can do anything. Again, if he has Ritual Soot, that's pretty decimating, but he just had a Dreadshade, and we picked that one up. Against this opponent, I like bringing in the Lightning Strike to deal with his Dreadshade. But that being said, I'm not sure what we want to board out. The Alpha seems strong. I don't know. Galta's good because he is on cast down. We haven't seen any Vraska's Contempt or anything from him. I actually don't hate removing the Steel Leaf Champions here. I feel like they're just going to get blown out by the removal. And possibly if we bring in maybe our Vivians and take out a. Now let's take out our Collision Colossus and bring in another Ravager Worm. The Ravager Worm just seems like a strong beater that we can get in there hasty as well as take out a creature. Um, I'm not really sure what he's playing. This is really late in the season, so we're not really playing against meta decks. All the meta decks are at Mythic. We have no turn one play here. Sorry. I started mtga in Innistrad, and then I played till about Battle for Zendikar, I believe, and then I just lost love for the game. I just played it for too long. I used to go to my local game store like 3 or 4 nights a week, and I just got burnt out really quickly. I used to hit GPs and stuff as well, but the competitive Magic scene in paper is just not. Oh, okay, so he's on like a black-red deck. Um, but sorry, I was just gonna say the competitive Magic scene in paper is just. I don't drive personally, so it's really tough to get to events and stuff if you wanna. Even going to like Toronto for myself is still like an hour bus ride or whatever, and it's $20 to $30. It's just too expensive, and keeping up with the meta is tougher. So him scrying with a treasure map. Oh yeah, I was gonna say he probably doesn't have a land. I believe he's looking for that. This Vivian's gonna hit him hard. Um, I'd actually like to just slam our Crawl Harpooner and our Merfolk Branchwalker, um, just to apply some pressure, and then next turn we'll hopefully be able to slam Vivian. We don't really want that there. Even if he has the Ritual of Soot, that'll come down on 4, so it'll allow us to get in, hopefully for one turn, for at least 6, possibly 7 or 10. So here we actually just want to play the Vivian, like we said. I actually like taking out his treasure map here, because it is on 2 counters, and that removes the ram for him. Now let's see if we can get in here. I assume he's having a cast down or something. Yes, sir. That's okay, we still get in for 6 there, and we have our 2 counter Vivian there. This playlist is much more palatable. Awesome, so that land there actually allows us to play 2 Gruul Spellbreakers, which I think lets us threaten lethal. Yeah, I don't think it matters what we take here. Let's just slam these Gruul Spellbreakers. So that lets us threaten lethal because he'll take the 1 damage. So we'll get in for 9, and then he'll take the 1 damage from Midnight Reaper, no matter what he blocks with, and he'll go to 0. So well, guys, that was another easy 2-0. I'm really happy with this deck. I mean, this late in the season, Platinum's not the most competitive place. At least for myself, being an experienced Mythic player and having played for so many years. But I find, I don't know, it's still fun Magic. mtga is a really good client. I've tried mtgo several times, and it's just too expensive, especially the Canadian dollar is just like not good against the American dollar. So we're gonna play first here. Ugh. For the sake of science and the sake of our video, we're gonna keep this greedy hand. I haven't kept any 1-landers with this, but we do have the 1-land Llanowar Elf, and if he doesn't have a 1-cost removal spell, we should be good. So if we can play Branchwalker, and if we can get another land here. So note to self, I don't believe 1-land hands are worth the payoff even with the Llanowar Elf, which is fine. Again, it was for the sake of science. If we lose a game 1, no problem. So unfortunately we still didn't get that land. We're going to play a Pelt Collector here, and it looks like he's on Sultai. We don't want to swing him with our Llanowar Elf though, because we don't want to lose him. We'll see what he's going to play here on 4. Hostage Taker probably taking our Llanowar Elf, which is... Interesting. I would have taken the Llanowar Elf to stunt us more on mana, because now I can play my Jade Light Ranger, pump up my Pelt Collector, as well as maybe get some more lands. Yeah, there's 2 lands for us. I don't know if I like his play there. I would have taken the Llanowar Elf personally. So I guess his game plan was to gain life with the Wild Growth Walker. But I still don't know if I like that play. It just doesn't seem like the strongest to me. That's fine, we can take 2 here. So we are going to play the Nullhide Ferox here, which hopefully next turn we'll be allowed to play a Ghalta for cheap. No attacks here because we don't really have any good ones. I mean, if we could play a Regisaur and then play a Ghalta, that would be incredibly strong. 12 trample haste. So it looks like he is going to kill our Nullhide Ferox, which is fine. Yep, there's a cast down. That does pump up our Pelt Collector though, so that's good. Huh. So I actually don't hate playing the Regisaur here. If he doesn't kill it, then we have a really good next 2 turns. I actually don't like our attacks here. I want to save all our creatures, and hopefully he won't kill our Regisaur. I would love to smash him with our Ghalta. Oh baby. He's probably like, oh, I'll play my Carnage Titan, he can't get in. Little does he know. We got that big baby Ghalta. So we're playing Ghalta, that'll pump our Pelt Collector, and he gets haste from our Regisaur Alpha, which is, this is the dream, guys. We're living it, and I'm so excited to get to do it with you guys. So we are able to hold up our Colossus here. We're just going to smash in. That block actually works really well for us. He's not expecting the Colossus here. This here, we can actually just let it ping off. We don't care about that. The Jade Ranger can die. We do want to save the Pelt Collector. Unfortunately... Oh, actually, we just have lethal. This is fun. We can just kill him. Oh, we got in there for 20. That's the power of a hasty Ghalta. So that, even with that sketchy keep we got in there in game 1 there, against Sultai here, I actually don't mind bringing, let's try the Ravager Worm against Sultai. It might be powerful if they're playing the tapped land that gives, the land that gives you creatures back from the graveyard. Memorial to Foley, I think? I know cards. I know what I'm talking about. So we're going to bring in our Vivians here. We're going to bring in the Lava Coils and the Lightning Strikes as well. I should have mentioned in our deck tech, the Lightning Strike's also very good for dealing with the Wild Growth Walker. Our Crawl Harpooner isn't as good. We do have Vivian to deal with the... Sorry, give me 1 sec, guys. I'm running out of time, so I have to board here real quick here. Yeah, we'll take those out. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, sorry. Hydroid Krasis is the card I'm talking about. Vivian's really good with dealing with him, so. It is late o'clock here in Canada, and I'm slowly losing my mind playing MTG, but we're going to get this video filmed, and looking at this hand, it's not our strongest. We don't have a red source to play our Gruul Spellbreaker or Ravager Worm, and we don't have a 2 to play off our Pelt Collector. I'm going to mulligan this. This is about the same hand, but slightly worse. We're going to keep it, and okay, there we got the Lightning Strike, so hopefully we'll be able to deal with his earlier creatures. The Land of Wealth is not very good for us. Oh, he did not do anything with it though, so which is great. So we're actually just going to Lightning Strike this Land of Wealth, just to slow him down a bit, and just get in for 1 with our Pelt Collector. We didn't have the greatest hand, so I'm not too hopeful about this one, but that's fine. That being said, though, we're drawing quite well. We're going to play our Gruul Spellbreaker, and we're actually just going to haste him up here just to get in there for 5. That really pressures our opponent because it puts him at 12. Even if he has removal for a Gruul Spellbreaker here, it shouldn't matter too much. And then next turn we'll get to slam our Nullhide Ferox. That's actually a really good That's really good for us because this allows us just to play our Nullhide Ferox, and then we can get in with both of our creatures for 6. If he doesn't block here, he takes 6, and then if he does, we'll get to kill the Krasis, which is awesome. And the Lightning Strike does put extra pressure on him, which is super great. This game wasn't looking too promising, but here we are. He does have that Memorial to Foley. Now, I don't know if bringing in the Ravager Worm is the best tactic here against that, but it is what it is. And he did just concede to us, so there's another game down for us. And we're on to an easy 3-0. Alright, so looking at our hand here, we have the Llanowar Elf into the Jade Light Ranger. We also have Galta and Krull Harpooner gives us a lot of power for 2 mana. Allowing us to play our Galta easier. I really like this hand. We could use a red source, but currently in our hand we don't really need it. That's the advantage of playing so many green cards here. Alright, so our opponent shows a Godless Shrine. I believe he's on Esper. I can't think of any other decks that play Godless Shrine, but that being said, there could be some like Black-White Angels or something that I'm not thinking of. I actually really like the Steel Leaf champion here. We can just play him. Easy 5-4 on turn 2. Creates loss of pressure. He is on Esper here. He did take our Galta, which is quite annoying, but nothing we can do about that. I think here we're just going to swing in for 6 and then play our Jade Light Ranger. Hopefully we'll be able to get some sort of red land or something to play our Gruul Spellbreaker. But the Nullhide Ferox is equally good. Alright, so our opponent doesn't have the board wipe on 4, it looks like, which is excellent. And he did kill our Steel Leaf champion, and not our Llanowar Elf here, which allows us to play our Nullhide Ferox. I mean, hopefully he won't have removal, or a Chaos Wrath or something. He did play a Island, so he couldn't have cast Chaos Wrath on 4. And he does just have a Thought Erasure here. So we're actually not going to cast anything, because I think he's on Absorb. We're just going to swing in. He might have removal of some sort, but we'll see. He did have the Moment of Craving, but that doesn't kill our guy. We can actually just leave our board like this. We have enough pressure to kill him, and we don't want to get a Wrath. Yeah, there's the Chaos. So here we're actually just going to play 2 Krull Harpooners instead of just playing the Steel Leaf champion. That allows us to kind of diversify threats, and if he only has single targeted removal, we'll be able to swing for lethal next turn. Whereas if he had targeted removal for our Steel Leaf champion, we would die. So here we should, yep, there's game 1. So what is that? That's our 7th game we won in a row. Pretty crazy if I do say so myself. So we're going to bring in the Vivians and the Cindervines. I want Ravager Worm to be good so much, but I just don't know if there's enough applicable matchups here, because I haven't been really seeing any Gruul decks, but we're going to cut the Steel Leaf champions. And then a single Galta. I think that makes sense to me, because if we're cutting Steel Leaf champions, our Galta isn't as good. Steel Leaf champion gives us 5 power for 3 mana, which really allows us to play our Galta easier. So looking at this hand, we have a Llanowar Elf into Jade Light Ranger. Even if our Llanowar Elf is killed, we have our Merfolk Branchwalker. And then we also have the Collision Colossus to just beat through, so I think this hand looks really promising. I probably wanted to take these out in boarding, but if you guys are watching this, let me know what you think in the comments about this style of video. I really want to do more like deck techs and gameplay videos of MTG. I'm looking to do a bunch of different things on my channel, so if you guys do like this, feel free to give me a like and a comment just to let me know that you did like it, and then I continue doing more content that you guys do like. So I'm going to play Jade Light Ranger here just to dig through our deck a little bit more. That did hit 2 lands, which is huge. The classic Jade Light draw 2. Something like a Nullhide Ferox off the top would be huge. It does look like this guy's playing a more budget version of the... Oh wow, there's the Nullhide Ferox. Wow, we are getting lucky today. But yeah, it does look like this guy is... He is playing a more budget version of Esper Control. So we do have a bit of an advantage on him. Let's swing in with our Jade Light Ranger and just see what happens. I'm gonna play the Nullhide Ferox and hopefully it doesn't get countered, which it did not. We're gonna hope he also doesn't have the Chaos next turn. There's the Chemister's Insight. Main phase is kind of interesting, but to each their own. No judgments here. So we have 6, 8, 9. We could go 6, 8, 11, 15. No, not quite enough. Okay, in this case we're just gonna smash. And then I'm going to play the Merfolk Branchwalker. It just allows us to dig a little bit deeper. We might be overcommitting a bit, but this is actually a great draw. If he does board wipe us here, then we are allowed to play Vivian on an open board. And if he doesn't board wipe us, then we'll probably just kill him. I am drawing really hot in these games, but I do think the Gruul deck is really strong. Now I don't think that's the strongest play here. Especially with a Vivian on top. I'm not sure what he's thinking. I guess we can't cast non-creature spells, but I can just do this. We're just gonna collision this guy, and then crash and smash in there for the win. Wow, another 2-0, guys. This deck's really strong, and we're flying through platinum. Alright, I think I'm going to play one more game for this series, just to get us in 5 games. Who knows, maybe we'll get a loss, maybe we'll get another win. It would be awesome if we could just go 10-0. Currently we're 8-0, I believe. I could see even, if I don't have many more of them, but I could see more Ravasar Alphas in the sideboard, just to have something that kind of goes a little wider. But that being said, maybe if we're trying to go wider, maybe just Siege Gang Commander, like I said, is a little bit easier. So we do have Pelt Collector and Merfolk Branchwalker, and Steel Leaf Champion and Gruul Spellbreaker on turn 3. I really like this hand. Let's keep it. Our opponent did mulligan to 6 and put a card to the bottom, so it's looking good for us. He might be on mono blue here. Yep, there's the Mystical Herald. So hopefully we'll be able to get another land either off the top or off our Merfolk Branchwalker, and then we'll be able to play either a Jade Light Ranger or a Steel Leaf Champion. He smacks us for 1. Luckily he didn't have the Curious Obsession, not that I thought he would on the hand he had, but we did draw another land, which is amazing. Now we can play our Merfolk Branchwalker. We'll see if it resolves. It does resolve, but he's tapped our Pelt Collector, so it's not going to get a token. Or a counter, rather. Oh, and there's the Curious Obsession. So I actually don't hate our block here. This allows him to not draw a card, and it keeps him just on 2. And it does pump up our Pelt Collector. Now hopefully next time we can play a Steel Leaf Champion, which will still allow us to block his Merfolk Trickster. Honestly, he should have played it on his Mistcloak Herald, but I mean, it is what it is. Because if he played on his Mistcloak Herald, he could have been getting in, but I mean, maybe he had some other game plan here. I guess maybe he just assumed we weren't going to block. So here, I don't hate playing our Steel Leaf Champion to pump up our Pelt Collector. His only blocks there would be to block with the Merfolk Trickster, and if he does block a 3-3 on 3-3, we don't care too much, but unfortunately he had a counter. I still don't mind blocking our Steel Leaf Champion on our Trickster. We obviously don't want him drawing cards, but he doesn't seem to be wanting to attack in with that. So we can play both our Jade Light and our Gruul Spellbreaker here. He did counter the Jade Light, which is fine. This is still going to pump up our guy. And we're going to make him a 4-4 just so he can block, and then we can get in here with our Steel Leaf Champion. If he doesn't block, it's going to pump up our Pelt Collector, which will be awesome. And if he doesn't block, he'll take 5. Looks like he is thinking about it, though. I don't know if I would make that block. I would keep my Curious Obsession, but I don't like this attack at all. We're gonna pump up our Pelt Collector here with that, and then he doesn't really have any more draw or anything. We're gonna just keep swinging in, get here for 9. I'm not sure what his last card is, but I mean a counter spell would be really strong for him. I assume we'll see though. I definitely don't like that block at all. If I were him, I would have kept my Merfolk Trickster, and you want to keep the pressure up, especially if we're in a racing situation. I have a 4-4 and a 5-4, and he just has 1-1s. I don't think he's winning that race, ever. Even if he can counter my spells, which I don't really have any spells to counter. Looks like he just didn't want to play that one out. We are going to go to game 2. I wasn't sure how the mono blue matchup was going to go, but here we are. So we're going to bring in the Bronchodons. I'm going to bring in these lava coils. The Vivian is probably too slow. The Regisaur is probably too slow as well. The No-Hide Ferox is good. The Steel Leaf Champion is very good. We do have to remove 4 cards. The No-Hide Ferox might just be too slow as well. Alright, so let's get into our 10th and final game. Personally, I'm not really a fan of this hand, but we do have the Collision Colossus if he does have the Curious Obsession on 2. And these lands, it's kind of land heavy. If we can draw a 2 or a 3 drop, our hand's fine. Let's try it. See how it goes. So there's a Siren Storm Tamer. We did draw another Pelt Collector, which is our worst draw here. A 2-drop like a Burfolk Branchwalker would be an awesome draw here. And he didn't have the Curious Obsession, which is very good for us. Another land isn't our best draw here, but let's get in with our Pelt Collector. You know what, I don't want to run into a Merfolk Trickster. It's not worth the 1 damage. Let's just play our Pelt Collector here. He might have a counter spell, he might not. Looks like he did not. And he didn't have the Trickster either. But it's still not worth it risking the 1 damage. Or risking it for the 1 damage, rather. I assume he's holding some sort of counter spell, like a Quench or something. I'm gonna play our Steel Leaf Champion just to test the waters. If we can get that off, that would be amazing, but he might have just an Essence Capture. No, it does resolve. Interesting. So here I actually don't mind swinging in with the Pelt Collectors. Even if one of them dies, it's still fine, because it'll probably just trade with a Merfolk Trickster. And if not, we'll get in there for 4 damage. Wow, he doesn't have anything. Amazing. I mean, next turn, if we can play a Galta, that would be amazing. I haven't had too many issues climbing to Mythic the past 2 seasons. Hopefully I'll be able to do it and get top 1000 before this season ends. But we'll see. I only have a few days left, and I have been quite busy working on YouTube content this season. So we do have the Collision Colossus. We have 9 damage currently. I do like, actually, if we swing in and he blocks something, then we can pump with Collision Colossus and then play Galta. If he doesn't block, I still don't hate playing the Collision Colossus and playing Galta. I think it's just too strong, but it is great for us that he did block. We're going to be able to smash that. Our Pelt Collector lives, and he does concede. So wow, guys, that was an awesome 10-0. I wanted to play 5 rounds of best of 3 before I went to bed, and we got to Platinum 2 from Platinum 4. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed the kind of deck tech and gameplays I tried to do. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it, and if you do like my content and want to see more as I release it, feel free to subscribe, and that would really help me out. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.